Good evening, people. Today we're going to be working on this prototype here where we have a minor issue. You can see we can move in front of sprites, but if we move behind them, we're actually drawn in front. We can see that on the house as well. It doesn't really handle the sorting options correctly. There's a few different ways to solve this problem. Most commonly you would just use layers and just add it on a completely separate layer and that would take care of it. But another method you can use is called Y sorting. So let's actually see what that looks like. In this prototype, we are using a tile map. So we can actually set up Y sorting inside the tile map directly. If you expand out the layers section, let me just go ahead and hide myself. Inside the inspector over here, you'll notice that we have two layers. Our layer 0 is our ground layer, and then our layer 1 is our obstacles. And if we actually look at the viewport, you can see I can switch between the ground and the obstacles have the trees in the house. So under the obstacles layer, there's an option for Y sort enabled. We can just check that on. But you'll notice in the top left corner, when we do that, we have this little triangle. There's going to be two errors. We have a Y sort layer has the same Z index value as a not Y sorted layer. And that may lead to unwanted behavior. Basically what it's saying is you'll want to increase the Z index to be a higher value than your background layer so it can actually process it correctly. So if we go in the inspector, there's a little Z index option. We can just bump that to 1, which will put it in front of Z index 0 for the ground. The second error message is the tile map layer is set to Y sorted, but the Y sort is not enabled on the tile map itself. If we collapse the layers near the bottom, there's a ordering section. If you expand that out, there's just a Y sort enabled. If you check that, you'll notice the triangle goes away. So now if we actually press F6, play this scene, I should be able to go in front of the tree, no problem. If I go behind it, I actually am drawn behind it. Same thing with the house. I go behind the house, I'm drawn behind it, and then I can walk in front of it, no issues. Some extra settings you might want to be aware of. If we come into the tile map, we can come to tile set at the bottom here, and we can select the paint option. And then for the property, we can set that to be the Y sort origin. And then if we just zoom in on an area, the basic setup, it'll give you a tile with this little widget kind of in the middle. Basically what this is saying is anything above this widget will be drawn behind it. Anything below it will be drawn in front of it. So you may find that for your sprites or your tile maps, you may need to adjust this. So you can actually set this to like say -10. And then if I click on it, you'll see this actually jumps up. Or if I set it to +10 and then click on the tile, that'll move it down. So if you find your sprites, like the background isn't quite set right, or it's not where it should be, you might just have to go into your tile sheets and manually adjust your Y sort origin point. Like I said, this is just one particular method to address this issue. You can, of course, just create multiple layers and then just design your maps using separate layers, and then use the Z index sorting as well. So either way, hope you enjoy.